What is up, everybody? Jordan and Jeff here from the XS Show. Today we're talking the state of the Nintendo Switch. If you're like us, you've been enjoying the crud out of this console since it launched in March. We're coming up on the year anniversary. We're not too far out. It's already November at the time that we're recording this. We're just the beginning of the month here. So we just had the launch of Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
We just had the launch of Fire Emblem Warriors. And of course, we still have the really good blog of games that are already out, some of which I still haven't finished. I'm looking at you, Zelda. All in all, it's been a pretty good 9 months for Nintendo. What I'm kind of concerned about is, can they keep the pace going forward? We've had tons of awesome first-party releases. Like I said, it's been 9 months. We already have a Zelda. We have a Mario. We have Mario Kart. And really, you know you've got a Pokemon coming. You know you've got Metroid coming.
Right.
Nintendo's still kind of mum on a Smash anything, but it's going to happen. What do you think? Going forward, do you think they'll be able to keep the momentum that they've built in this first year?
I think this is a strong Nintendo console. I think this is one of the hardest pushes they've ever done to start a game cycle, a console cycle. And I really feel like they're keeping the pace with merging their two divisions, the portable and the home console divisions. They are able to fire on all cylinders on one single device.
It really does seem like it's allowed them to, keep on release schedules. If you notice, we haven't had a single game outside of Zelda get pushed back. And I think Zelda was pushed back only because they knew they wanted it on the Switch and not as much the Wii U. I've been very impressed with that. I've been fully expecting to hear, Mario was supposed to launch in October, but we're going to push it back. And it didn't happen. Came out right on time. Nintendo's killing it with that. Speaking of Mario, the game is selling incredibly well. Almost 3 million units in its first weekend. Not that I'm surprised since it is a Mario title, but it's also getting just critical acclaim across the board.
Yeah.
We have it. We haven't finished it yet, but we're still playing through it. I've got maybe 10 hours in. I don't know how much time you've put in.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
But it is fun. I think it is on par with some of the classic Mario games, 64, Sunshine.
Even that, I've heard a lot of people saying that they believe it will not only be like number 2, but compete with Zelda for Game of the Year. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo people alike are like, Nintendo is really hitting the Game of the Year strides.
It's crazy. I was just going to say, it'll be an interesting debate at the end of the year for best game on the Switch. Is it Mario? Is it Zelda? But I think both of those games will be able to hold their own against, like you were saying, some of the Sony and Microsoft titles. So we'll see. We grew up on 64 and Super Mario World, so it's awesome that it hits a lot of those nostalgia notes while doing a lot of new and innovative things. Same thing, same formula for Zelda, really.
Right.
You know, they put the goodies in there, but made it new.
And I like that Mario is hitting those classic throwbacks, like the neat little warp pipe onto the wall kind of situation.
Yeah. Those are awesome, and it's just fueling sales of the Switch. I don't know if you saw this, but Nintendo had to actually adjust their sales projections for the first year of the Switch. They bumped it up to 14 million, which they were initially saying like between 8 to 10, I think, for the first year sales. If that happens, it'll be one of the fastest selling consoles, not just for Nintendo, but of all time.
Right.
You're talking about keeping pace with the Wii, which just sold like, I don't know what, something that sells really quickly.
Yeah, like an Apple product.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Just selling super fast and even on pace with the PS4 sales, which have just been astronomical. So the cool thing about that sales bump is that there is a term that they use for sales of games called attach rate. So what that means is how many games per Switch that's out there. The Switch has an attach rate of almost 3 games, which is really good considering the broad spectrum of people that you have buying it. So people like you and me will have 8 to 15 games.
Right.
And there's still people out there that'll just buy it to play Mario, or they'll just buy it to play Mario Kart, or just buy it to play Zelda. When you factor all that in, Splatoon, I mean, it's a crazy high attach rate for a console that's not even a year old yet.
We've had a lot of experiences with running into people that you wouldn't think are gamers. Why don't you talk about
Yeah,
experience you had.
I've had a couple cool little run-ins with the Switch. One being, I was out of town for a wedding with my wife, of all things. This was the weekend that Mario Odyssey launched. I didn't even have a chance to play it because I got off work on Friday and we had to drive to a city that was 3 hours from us. So I was like, I'll just play it when I get back. It's fine. So my wife and I are eating dinner at a bar/restaurant. I've got a couple Nintendo tattoos, and one of the bartenders at the place we were at saw my Pixel Mario tattoo that's on the back of my arm here, and he walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, you got a Switch?" And I was like, yeah, actually I do. He's like, "You playing Mario Odyssey? What do you think?" And I was like, I haven't played it because I'm driving and have to be here for a wedding and blah, blah, blah. I left it at home. And it was just kind of funny is that first bartender said the word Switch, and screaming down from the other side of the bar comes another bartender, goes, "You guys talking about Mario Odyssey?" It was crazy. And that's not the only instance that I've had happen. I've had it happen at the place I work at. I've had it happen just out in public. It's kind of awesome. It's like when a new car comes out and a few people on the road have that model of car, and you'll see them honk at each other, give that knowing wink and nod.
Right.
And it's awesome. And like you said, it's people that I wouldn't necessarily peg as gamers. Well, even you with the guy that manages our
Yeah, we're even in a kind of a game exchange kind of situation where I can go, "Hey, here's Zelda, try it out and buy your own." And that's just something that...
With the manager that runs our local Costa Vida.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cool. Yeah, just overall, probably not just one of my favorite Nintendo systems, but just one of my favorite systems, period. We've talked about it before on the show. At least for me, it's harder to game more now that I'm older and have a lot of priorities and things to take care of. But with the Switch, it's easy to find time because I can take it with me to places. And of all things, my wife actually really likes a lot of the games. She'll sit there and watch me play Zelda and Mario, and she'll play Mario Kart with me. So it's awesome for that. Just overall, I think with the new president of Nintendo, I think he's really kind of, I hate to use the term cracking the whip, but keeping them on pace for releases. He's done an excellent job of getting third-party support and independent support, which is another awesome thing that Switch has going for it. It's really strong. It's going to be hard to beat this first year, but I think that they've kept enough back and told us what they're working on to keep us interested. In the month of November alone, there's something like 20 new games coming out between the eShop and physical releases. So, and we don't have a virtual console yet.
I consider the eShop kind of a virtual console.
I guess by virtual console, I mean access to older Nintendo games.
Right, yeah. And we don't have our pay system.
Right, we're not even, we're still in the free preliminary thing, so who knows what's going to happen on down the line. So my hopes are high for Nintendo. It's been my favorite gaming company since I was a kid. I really like to see them succeed. It's cool to see them succeed by breaking all the quote-unquote console rules. I've seen this talked about on some other YouTube channels where it's not the most powerful console.
Right.
It's not the sexiest console. You can't even watch Netflix on the damn thing.
Not yet.
But it's outselling everything that's out there. And some of the best first-party titles, and just more good stuff to come. We got Skyrim coming before the end of the year. We'll get Doom before the end of the year, which, I know that's a port, but I don't know. It seems like Nintendo's taking chances. Doom is not something that I would think that Nintendo of the past would have taken a chance on and put it on their system. Because it's violent, it's gory, it's not ultra family friendly. I think Kimishima is really saying, let's cater to everybody. Let's do something for everyone. We can't be kid friendly our whole life. And it's paying off for them. So overall, my impressions have just been through the roof of the system. I love it. I'm going to be total fanboy honest. I love it. The honesty that we're getting from Nintendo now, one of the things that actually really struck me, and it was mentioned in another video that I watched, is you notice when they announced Pokemon and when they announced Metroid Prime 4, they didn't give you a release date because they didn't know. They just say it's in development. That's all we're going to tell you. And I really appreciate that, just because they didn't try to get my hopes up and say, oh, it'll be out 2018, when in reality it's probably not going to. I would rather them take their time, develop some really solid titles, and just keep pushing the independent games and the still the first party stuff, but not the AAA first party stuff, you know. Seeing some of the Mario sports games, I wouldn't mind seeing those on the Switch, things like that.
Strikers.
Yes, bring that back. That game was so much fun. And like I said, I fully expect to see a Smash port. just because, again, the adoption rate, it's already beaten the Wii U sales-wise.
Right.
So there's a lot of games that people missed out on the Wii U that would do really well on the Switch. I fully expect to see those, so time will tell. I know it hasn't been a full year yet. We'll touch on it again once we've hit a full 12 months, but so far, A+ from me for Nintendo.
Yeah, they're flying high, so we'll see how they do.
Tell us what you think. What is your favorite game for the Switch? How many games do you have? How long have you had it? Did you get it at launch, or have you just picked it up recently? Let us know down below in the comments. Hit the old like and subscribe button. Really helps us out here at the channel. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you. My name's Jordan.
I'm Jeff.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.